everybody, Jason Ricci here, and today, by request, we're going to talk about using the minor pentatonic scale. I have some other videos on this subject. I will put a link below in the description box. All of the information that you need to know about the backing tracks, other videos that might be helpful, what scales I'm using, gear, anything, harmonicas, all that stuff is in the description box. Today, we're going to go over some basic uses of the minor pentatonic scale in second position. So the first thing that you need to know is that you don't need a minor key harmonica to play in a minor key. You just have to know what you're doing. Mainly, you only have to know what you're doing with one note, and that note is the 3-draw half-step bend. That note is called a flat third, but when we play in a minor key, it's called a minor third because the note has to be flatted in order to be in a minor key. So it's called a minor third. It's part of a minor triad. One of the reasons guys favor third position so much is that you don't have to bend that note to get that minor triad. That's a D minor triad right there. So let's focus on what exactly the minor pentatonic scale is and how do we play. First, it's 2-draw, 3-draw half-step bend, 4-blow, 4-draw, 5-draw, then 6-blow. That's the first part of it. That's one octave right there. Now you can't get the second octave without using the 6 overblow. But it's really not a big deal. There's so much you can do in the first octave. Now one thing that you can get are the top 4 notes down bottom. Those notes are 2-draw, 2-draw double bend, that's your flat 7, 1-draw, and then 1-blow. And then back up. If I put the flat third in there, the minor third, as we call it in a minor key, I have all of this. Cool. You might be asking, Jason, why not learn the blues scale? The blues scale has all of those notes and the 4-draw bend in it, or the note that we call the flat 5. Isn't that a lot cooler and a lot more useful? Well, it depends. Each scale has a flavor, and this scale has a definitely cool flavor without that note. The other thing is, if you're anything like me, you may find that you have a hard time actually not playing the 4-draw bend. And the 1-draw bend. So the cool thing about the minor pentatonic scale is it gives you some discipline in not playing that note even when you're used to it. Now there's nothing wrong with that note, and it's very useful in a lot of blues, a lot of minor music, a lot of jazz, a lot of rock. But if we're playing a note by accident because our mouth wants to play it, or it's habit, muscle memory they call it, then that note is happening without our consent. And that's not cool. There's nothing wrong with the note, but what is wrong with the note is I'm playing it sometimes when I don't want to, or when I don't mean to. So having a scale that doesn't use that note, that forces you to learn how to improvise without the crutch of landing on that note, is a really good thing. Now that we know that 6 blow, 5 draw, 4 draw, and 4 blow are the same notes as 2 draw double bend, 1 draw, 1 blow, I can start taking licks right away before I get into any scale exercises or pedal points or some of the other things that we're going to cover briefly in this video. I will do follow-up videos for each one of those things, but right now we're going to just cover them all in a broad kind of way as an introduction to improvising with the minor pentatonic scale in second position. One of the great ways to get started is to just start moving licks from the bottom register of the minor pentatonic scale into the top register in octaves. So I'll start with a simple lick, 2 draw double bend, 1 draw. And then I'll move that. So I'll give myself a little tempo, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see right away I'm starting to maybe go too fast, but I'm starting to move one licks forwards and backwards. Trying to put a little inflection on each one. So I can do that backwards. Cool. I can just experiment with the rhythm of these right away. Like I could put a triplet rhythm, triplet, 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 giving each note its own little beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The other thing I can do is try to do the same thing backwards. Now I can start doing different rhythms by giving notes different amounts of value. So like I could hit the first note twice, second note once, third note once. Do it backwards. Sky's the limit. Anything you can imagine. Just moving them. And it's really fun to practice improvising, trying something on the bottom, seeing how quickly you can move it to the top. Can you do it without thinking about it? Then you start to familiarize yourself with where every note is in every octave. So then you could just add in another note, like the 1 blow. Little tongue block octave action. Anything you can imagine. one of the things that I like to do is just give myself 2 holes to improvise on. So I'll do everything I'm going to do. I'm going to improvise off the top of my head. You can see I'm not editing anything here. There's no cuts, no jump cuts, nothing. I'm going to improvise just on the first 2 holes using only the 4 notes of the minor pentatonic. 1 blow, 1 draw, 2 draw double bend, our flat 7, and 2 draw. So backwards. Now I'm going to leave those coughs in there so you can see that I'm not editing anything. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just on 2 holes. And on and on and on and on. So I can go on forever just working on rhythmic ideas on just those 2 holes. So imagine what you can do when you give yourself a whole scale and a little bit more. So we take licks from the bottom octave, we move them to the second octave. Simple as that. Next, we link them together using the 3-draw half-step bend. Start experimenting, jumping around the scale. And one of the first things I'd like to talk to you about that helps familiarize yourself with the scale is taking the notes out of context. So I'm going to play the root note, which is 2 draw, and then I'm going to move to the first step of the scale, which is the minor third or 3 draw single bend. And then go back to the root. Now I'm going to play the root note again and go to the 3rd note of the scale, which is 4 blow, and back to the root. Then to the 4th note of the scale, which is 4 draw. First I'll play root, minor third, root, root, 4, root, root, 5th, root, or 2 draw, 3 bend, 2 draw. 2 draw, 4 blow, 2 draw. 2 draw, 4 draw, 2 draw. It's called pedal point because I'm pedaling off of the same point going up and down the scale. I can add little extra things onto it, like little taps. And I can go back down it too and combine those. This is something a lot of B3 players, saxophone players, and guitar players do. Every instrument does it, really, except not too many harmonica players. I can do this kind of technique really anywhere, any part of the scale. I used an overblow there, sorry. I can go all the way up the scale. It just usually sounds better in a smaller spot, but here's all the way up. One more time. Up. Down. So there's all different kinds of variations of that. I could use a 2-note pedal point, 2 draw double bend, 2 draw, then to the next note of the scale, 3 draw bend, and then up. Could go all the way up. Very, very cool. Anywhere on the thing I can do this. I can start on the 5th note. Anywhere, right? I could use a 3-note pedal point. 2 draw, double bend, 1 draw, and then move up to the next note in the scale. Very cool. All right, so that wraps up pedal point. We're not going to have enough time to really cover scale exercises, so we will do that next Friday in a minor pentatonic scale exercise video, where we will cover moving from one interval in the scale to another. We'll start with something like this. And then back down. There'll be other examples that we'll move into, like going down in 3-note intervals. Very exciting stuff, all coming up next week. I'd like to thank everybody for supporting me on Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jason Ricci. Your contributions make it really fun and exciting to be part of YouTube and part of teaching music every single week, every Friday, right? So if you give $1 a month, that's 25 cents a lesson. If you give more, that's great. Every time you give money, you're allowing somebody else that doesn't have money to be able to watch these lessons for free, so you're contributing to the greater good of the entire musical world. That's cool. Please check out my sponsors, Lone Wolf Blues Company, making the very best in microphones and pedals. Blue Moon Harmonicas, right? Making the very best in Hohner Harmonicas, as well as some others, but Jason Ricci is endorsed by Hohner Harmonicas International. So check out Tom Halchek if you want some custom combs, some fancy cover plates. Don't forget, Jason Ricci uses harp gear amplifiers. That's right, I'm referring to myself in the third person. A Mooncat is using harp gear. I use the HG50 410. It's a big amp. And with the pedals, I can play it at a coffee shop or I could play it at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Also check out my website, www.mooncat.org, for tour dates, CDs, t-shirts. We got brand new t-shirts from Wang Dang Doodle Tees, company making the best in blues merchandise for the current blues scene. Get your Jason Ricci t-shirt. It's got a cool cat on it and UFOs and all kinds of awesome stuff. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget to check the description box below for all the links to all these sponsors. My Patreon, my PayPal, anything you guys want to do to help me out is much appreciated. Never expected. Thank you so much. Keep coming back.